Let us all witness the National Federation of Supreme Student Government oath-taking ceremony to be led by the Secretary of the Department of Education, Leonor Magtolis Briones.
Itaas ninyo ang inyong kanang kamay sa anyo ng panunumpa at sumunod sa aking babanggitin. Ako bigay niyo yung pangalan niyo.
Ako si Vanessa Fidel A. Sunyo
Mula sa state your region.
Mula
sa Region 1,
Hinirang bilang state your position
hinirang bilang President,
Member Officer
ng National Federation of Supreme Student Governments para sa taong panunuroang 2021 hanggang 2022
ng National Federation of Supreme Student Government para sa taong panuroang 2021-2022
ay taimtim na nanunumpa na tutuparin ko ng buong husay at katapatan sa abot ng aking kakayahan ang mga tungkulin ng aking katungkulan at ng iba pang pagkaraan nito'y gagampanin ko sa ilalim ng Republika ng Pilipinas.
At ng ibang pagkakaraan nito'y gagampanan ko sa ilalim ng Republika ng Pilipinas.
Na aking itataguyod at ipagtatanggol ang konstitusyon ng aming samahan.
Na aking itataguyod at ipagtatanggol ang konstitusyon ng aming samahan.
Tunay na mananalig at tatalima ako rito. Na susundin ko ang mga batas, mga kautusang legal, at kusa kong babalikatin ang mga pananagutang ito. Nang walang anumang pag-atubili o hangaring umiwas.
Nang walang anumang pasubali o hangaring umiwas.
Kasihan nawa ako ng poong may kapal. Congratulations, mainit na pagbate sa inyong lahat.
It is with a profound sense of happiness and pride that I congratulate the newly elected officers of the National Federation of Supreme Student Governments for this school year. I also wish to convey my gratitude and appreciation for your earnest efforts to rise up to the challenge. I know that the past year has not been easy, and I commend you for your selflessness, dedication, and fortitude, for your unwavering commitment to be of service to your fellow students, for the resolute conviction of your courage despite the uncertainty of our times, despite the fear and anxiety you too share with everyone. Thank you for taking up the cudgels on behalf of Filipino students everywhere. Your federation, as the word would suggest, connotes the union of outstanding student leaders representing diverse constituencies. It is my hope that you can all work harmoniously despite the personal and political differences you may have with each other. If there is one thing I've learned from working for and with the youth, it's that when we unite and work together for causes greater than ourselves, we can overcome even the toughest challenges and the most insurmountable adversities. Achieving your lofty goals, however, can be more effectively realized with the support of the bigger organization to which you all belong. I know for a fact that the Department of Education, under the leadership of Secretary Leonor Magtolis Briones, has always considered student organizations as valued partners in molding the Filipino learner to be productive and responsible citizens of tomorrow, and has always recognized their role in advocacy, activism, and nation building. Today is an auspicious day to welcome our newly elected National Federation officers, since it is also the time we commemorate that fateful day more than 80 years ago, which showcased the courage and gallantry of student leaders who stood up against the Nazi storm. In the same vein, the bravery and boldness demonstrated by our student leaders today is a testament to the unbowed, unyielding, and unwavering commitment of the youth to utilize for the common good, as Rizal would put it, the impulse of their minds, their prepotent hands, and the refulgence of their genius. Happy National and International Students' Day. I look forward to seeing and working with you all in the near future. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay ang Kabataang Pilipino.
I am glad to be able to join you as we celebrate the National Students' Day for 2021. We are, of course, appreciative that the Youth Formation Division of the Bureau of Learner Support Services, under the strand of the Undersecretary for Administration, Yusek Alain Pascua, has been able to partner with the DepEd of my home region, Region 5, to remind everyone that it's really very worthy to celebrate the fact that you, dear youngsters, and I understand the leaders of our student governments and student councils, are able to again remember that the youngsters, the youth, is the hope of the country. And I always tell youngsters, because I was once a youngster myself, my own sons also are always reminded that the best way to respond to the so-called expectation that you are the hope of our country, pag-asa ng ating bayan, is for you to make full use of your time as students in acquiring all the necessary competencies, skills, knowledge, values that are needed so that you can achieve your goals. There's no shortcut to success. It has to be done with effort. Again, congratulations to all of you for being here with us. And mabuhay po tayo. God bless.
Kristanos! Sakay mo ako! Kristanos!
Maaabot lahat ng iyong inaasam. Kasipagan ng sagot, salat ka man sa kayamanan. Buksan ang pahina ng mga aklat ng karunungan. Edukasyon ating kailangan, kamamangan ating iwanan. Peace! Ating lilingkuhin, ating papawin, ating tanawin. Bagong pag-asa ay muling tatanawin. Kinabukasan pagpipayin. Pilitin mong gawin. Puspos ang pagsisika. Pag-asa ay yakapin. Edukasyon ang kayamanan ng kahit ninuman. Isang pangarap ang tutupad. Pagsisikapan ng lahat. Puspos ang pagsisika. Kaya mo yun, kaibigan. Mabubuo isang pangarap.
Sa bawat pagsikat ng araw, kagandahan ay matatanaw. Sa biyayang umaapaw, kultura'y nangingibabaw. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, pasasalamat ang sigaw. Sabayan, sa musika'y iindak ang katawan. Pagkain, sayaw, sining at musika, sumasalamin sa ating kultura. Pilipinas, tunay kang nagniningning. Sa bawat pagsikat ng araw, kagandahan ay matatanaw. Sa biyayang umaapaw, kultura'y nangingibabaw. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, pasasalamat ang sigaw.
Magandang araw sa inyo lahat. Happy National Students Day. Ako si Christian and pahingi lang ako ng a few minutes of your time. But don't worry kasi this could be the best 5 minutes of your day today, ano? So anyway, andito ako para makicelebrate ng National Students Day sa inyo. And this day is all about you. Okay? And dahil dyan, I have some good news for everyone. So, hatid sa inyo ng Department of Education and ng DepEd Youth Formation Division and ng Microsoft, lahat ng students, as in lahat kayo, ay mabibigyan ng student kits. Okay? Ano yung student kits and ano yung laman niya? Let me explain over to the next few slides. So, una muna, meron tayong free na Microsoft Office. So, meron tayong access sa Microsoft Word, meron tayong access sa Microsoft PowerPoint, sa Excel, and lahat ng iba pang apps na yung nakikita niyo sa screen, we get that for free. Okay? Sunod, meron din tayong tinatawag natin online storage or ang OneDrive. So, sa OneDrive, meron tayong 5 terabyte na storage space, no? So, sa laki ng yun, anong pwede natin lagay doon? We can put our personal photos, mga personal videos natin with the family, diba? And more importantly, pwede natin doon i-store yung mga schoolworks natin, yung mga learning modules natin, yung mga learning materials din natin, we can store all of that inside OneDrive. Again, you get this for free and you get 5 terabyte storage space. Laki nun. Next, meron tayong digital notebook. So, we have access to OneNote wherein we can put all of our notes from all of our subjects there. Kung science, math, araling panlipunan, mathematics, kung anong subject man yan, you can write that inside your digital notebook. You can split it into different sections depende sa kung ilang subjects yung meron din kayo, of course. And hindi nyo na kailangan bumili ng actual na notebook because all you need is to activate your Microsoft account and download the OneNote app for you to get access to this. Next is, ito yung masaya. So, lahat tayo, meron tayong Minecraft Education Edition. So, sa Minecraft, we can create virtual worlds and we can also explore other virtual worlds with our classmates and friends. Okay? Bawat student ay merong access sa Minecraft Education Edition using their, of course, Microsoft account. Okay. What can you do inside Minecraft? Well, you can conduct virtual field trips and other activities inside the game with your friends and your classmates. Okay. And again, you get that for free. Here's another one. Meron din tayong access sa bagong collaboration and communication tool, ang Microsoft Teams. Ang Microsoft Teams, pwede natin itong gamitin to communicate with other classmates, teachers. Pwede actually tayo dito mag-conduct ng mga online events natin and mga online classes natin. Okay? And the next one is, ito yung maganda din. All of us can upgrade to Windows 11 for free. Okay? Sa mga di pa nakakaalam, ang Windows 11 ang bagong operating system ng Microsoft. Kasunod yan ng Windows 10, of course. Okay? Now, maraming bagong features actually yung operating system na ito. So, I highly suggest na sulitin na natin, no? When we get the chance and kung kaya ng device natin, i-download na natin yung Windows 11 for free. Okay? And last but not the least, meron tayong access to thousands and thousands of free premium templates. Okay? An example of this is the periodic table of elements where we can use this to study the different elements, no? So we don't have to look for the same materials elsewhere. Di natin kailangan bumili because we have access to these kinds of templates using our Microsoft accounts. And marami pa yung template. Depende sa kailangan natin or depende sa activities na paggagamitan natin ito. Alright? So all of that and more you get for free. Okay? Ang kailangan lang natin ay activate ang ating Microsoft account given to you by DepEd. Okay? So here's how to get or access the student kit na minention ko sa inyo. First, kailangan muna natin mag-login sa teams.microsoft.com gamit ang ating DepEd-provided Microsoft account. Sa mga wala pang Microsoft account, kindly coordinate with your teachers para mabigyan kayo ng Microsoft account or doon sa school ICT coordinators natin. Pero once na nakakuha na tayo ng account and na-activate na natin yon, we have to go to teams@microsoft.com. Okay? Next is, pag nakapag-login na tayo, we just go to Apps and then search for the BTS Kit. Okay, so once na-search na natin yan, and na-open na natin, we can pin it to the side o do sa menu natin para lagi na siyang available and nakikita na natin siya every time we log into Microsoft Teams. And once na nag-load na siya, dito natin makikita yung different download links and download tutorials. No? If we need tutorials on how to download Windows 11, yung OneDrive, yung Minecraft, and everything else that you need. Okay? And huwag kayong mag-alala kasi we will be updating the content as we go. So, lagi namin yung ina-update para lagi tayong equipped with enough materials, no? And enough links para ma-enjoy natin lahat ng benefits natin in our Microsoft account. Okay? If you need more help on how to access the student kit, I have prepared a demo tutorial, mabilis lang naman, wherein you can follow para makuha ninyo or ma-access ninyo yung student kit ninyo. Just go to bit.ly/getstudentkit and panoorin lang ninyo yung video on how to get it. Again, just go to bit.ly/getstudentkit. So capital G, tapos ET, capital S, tapos student, and then capital K for the kit. Okay? So again, kindly save this para din mapanood na ninyo after. And there you go. So I hope na na-enjoy nyo yung in-explain ko sa inyo kanina, and I hope that magamit ninyo yung BTS Student Kit. Huwag kayong mag-alala kasi we will be providing you with more good news. Again, hatid sa inyo ng DepEd Youth Formation Division and of course ng Department of Education. Alright? That said, ayun lang po. Salamat sa pakikinig. And again, ako si Christian Katahan. Feel free to ask me any questions kung meron kayong tulong na kailangan hingin. Alright? Hanggang sa muli, again, Happy National Students Day and enjoy the rest of the day.
My greetings to all the students in the Philippines. Today, we celebrate a stage in your career or in your life when you are expected to learn the content of your lessons or the standards of the academics. This is to help you prepare for more complex tasks and bigger responsibilities you will encounter as you face adult life. Not all things can be learned in school. Not all things are taught in school. But this does not discourage you from studying and having a formal education. This rather reminds you that you have to exert efforts and initiate for you to be fully equipped. Push yourselves to your limits, but don't force yourselves to exceed them. For your well-being is much more important than any accolade. If you get tired, rest. If you can't understand, stop. Take a break and then come back more ready and sound. You have come a long way, but you still have many things to achieve, and the journey to what you value. A success is still far from where you are now. Fret not, for we teachers are here to guide you in fervent hopes that you will also guide the students in the succeeding generations. Be steadfast and resilient. Imbibe the right values and aim for a better future for everyone. Remember that we shall remain as students because it is with learning that we are truly living. Happy National Students' Day.
To all DepEd officials, headed by our very nimble and progressive-minded Secretary, Honorable Leonor Magtolis Briones, colleagues in the different schools division offices, teachers, learners, guests, Friends, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant afternoon to all of you. My dear students, today is your day, and I am deeply honored to be part of it. I am also eager to listen to your stories of triumphs and successes, which will surely serve as inspiration to many. Indeed, you may be young, but your contribution cannot be undermined. This pandemic might have altered your routine. It could have brought you and your families in dire situations and challenging circumstances. However, in the midst of such difficulties, you continued to keep your hopes high. You have been heroes in your own way, making significant impact in others' lives. You did not allow yourselves to succumb to despair, but have instead proven that you can thrive in any situation, and I am in awe, seeing how resilient you have become. You have struggled, but you made it. The road you will tread may not always be easy, but continue to excel and rise above the hurdles life might offer you. Continue to make a difference. Remain passionate and committed in doing your share towards nation building. Give your best. Do your best. Remember, you are not just good enough. You are best.
Ang aking pagbati sa ating butihing kalihim, Madam Leonor Briones, kay Yusek Alen del Di Pascua, at sa bumubuo ng Executive Committee, kay Adolf Aguilar, Chief of Youth Formation Division, sa ating maginoong Direktor, Gilbert T. Sadsad, at sa iba pang virtual na dumalo sa pagdiriwang na ito. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ang SDO Tabaco City ay malugod na nakikiisa sa pagbibigay pugay sa ating mga mag-aaral sa ikalawang taon ng pagdiriwang ng National Students Day. Sa loob ng mahigit isang taon, nakita natin kung paano sila nagsumikap at nagpakatatag upang patuloy na may pagpatuloy ang kanilang pag-aaral. Kung meron mang naging mabuting naidulot ang pandemya, isa sa mga ito ay ang pagbibigay ng pagkakataon sa ating mga mag-aaral upang matuklasan ang kanilang kakayahan sa paglinang at paggamit ng multimedia, virtual arts at teknolohiya. I have personally observed one online class in the elementary, and I was fascinated when a grade 4 learner would virtually raise his hand, recite, share his output, especially online, and the class would group themselves into virtual breakout rooms, and indeed, no pandemic can stop them from learning and improving themselves. Sa ating mga mag-aaral, may pandemya man o wala, inaasahan natin ang patuloy niyong pagsusumikap, hindi lamang para sa inyong mga sarili, kundi para na rin sa bayan. Hangad din namin ang inyong pakikiisa sa layunin ng DepEd na ipagpatuloy ang inyong edukasyon anuman ang hamon ng panahon. Sa ngalan ng ating tagapamanihala, Madam Socorro B. De La Rosa, binabati ko ang ating mga mag-aaral ngayon, bayani bukas. Happy National Students Day!
Youth are curators of tomorrow, the strength of the future, and the gems of the next generation. My respect and greetings to our DepEd Secretary, Madam Leonor Magtolis Briones, other DepEd Central Office officials and personnel, regional directors, assistant regional directors, schools division superintendents, assistant schools division superintendents, teachers, guests, our dear learners and their parents, and education partners. a grace-filled day to all. This is an update to celebrate the joys of hope and rays of optimism for our beloved children. Today marks their special day, for their triumphs, aspirations, and goals are recognized and supported. Our dear students, as you cherish this salient occasion, lest you forget the lessons learned in your schools. Allow them to be your guiding stars as you continue your journey to your future paths. You are truly our hope, as what our national hero Dr. Jose P. Rizal cited in his works. Sa mga hamon ng pandemya at unos ng buhay, lagi ninyong tandaan na ang mga kabataang Pilipino ay may makabansang paninindigan gamit ang puso, galing at talino. Kayo ang makabagong kabataang hinubog para harapin ang mga matatarik na yugto ng buhay. Kinaya ninyo ang laban sa pandemya. Higit ninyong kakayanin ang mga dagok na darating pa at tiyak na pagtatagumpayan ninyo to. Sulong Kabataang Pilipino, Happy National Students Day!
Marhay na aldaw sa Indugabos. Isang masaya at pinagpalang araw sa lahat ng mga estudyante. Ang ating tema ay Kabataang Pilipino, may makabansang paninindigan, gamit ang puso, galing at talino. Pagbati at pasasalamat sa ating kalihim, Leonor Magtoles Briones, sa ating pangalawang kalihim, Alain Del B. Pascua, at sa puno ng Youth Formation Division, Adolf P. Aguilar para sa ating programa. Ang Batas Republika bilang 11369 ay nagtakda ng National Students Day upang bigyang halaga ang pagmamahal sa bansa at bigyang diin na ang bawat isa, kasama na ang mga kabataan, ay may responsibilidad na dapat gampanan. Ang araw na ito, 17 ng Nobyembre, ay isa ring paggunita sa kamatayan ng 9 na mag-aaral na pinatay sa Czechoslovakia dahil sa pakikipaglaban upang matapos ang maling pagtrato sa mga mamamayan noong panahon ni Adolf Hitler. Isa itong patunay na ang bawat isa ay may responsibilidad upang ang katayuan o sitwasyon ng komunidad ay maging maayos, mapayapa at maunlad. 2 araw matapos ang simula ng pasukan para sa ating pilot school sa limited face-to-face, pinagdiriwang natin ang National Students Day. Ito ay simbolo ng unti-unting pagbangon. Ang eskwelahan ng Taysan Resettlement Integrated School, kung saan natin ginagawa ang ating programa, ay isa ring simbolo ng pagbangon mula sa pagkalugmok pagkatapos ng Bagyong Rimeng noong 2006. Ito ay itinayo para sa mga mag-aaral na kasamang lumikas ng kanilang mga magulang upang bumuo ng isang bagong komunidad at abutin ang kanilang mga pangarap. Ang kabataang Pilipino ay kilala sa kanyang puso, galing at talino. Ito ay ating ipinapakita sa pamamagitan ng pagmamahal sa ating bansa, pakikipagtulungan, pagbibigay serbisyo sa kapwa, pagsisikap sa ating pag-aaral, pagrespeto sa bawat isa, pag-alaga sa ating kalikasan, pananampalataya sa may kapal. Noong 2019, pinarangalan at kinilala natin sa DepEd Bicol ang 2 mag-aaral na sina Joshua Amaro at Edward Ortil ng Bonifacio Borbor Memorial High School, Sangay ng Camarines Sur. Sinagip nila ang isang matandang nalulunod kahit malakas ang bugso ng tubig sa ilog dahil sa matinding ulan. Sina Joshua at Edward ay mga mag-aral na may puso para sa kapwa. Sila ay huwaran sa pagbibigay serbisyo at pagmamalasakit sa kapwa. Bawat isa ay mahalaga, katimbang ng ating pangangalaga sa ating mga karapatan, ang ating pagsunod sa ating mga responsibilidad. Saludo kami sa ating mga mag-aaral na sa kabila ng hirap ng buhay ay patuloy na nangangarap at nagsisikap upang maiahon ang kanilang pamilya sa kahirapan. Isa akong kabataan noon na nangarap, nagsikap at naabot ang aking pangarap. Kung ito ay naging posible sa akin, posible rin mangyari ito sa inyo. Huwag kayong susuko dahil kayo ang aming pag-asa. Happy National Students Day! Mabalos sa Indugabos!
Good day, everyone, especially to all our learners as we celebrate National Students Day this year. You often hear your parents, your titos and titas, even your lolo and lola tell you how lucky you are for being students at this age. You're probably tired of hearing, nung nag-aaral kami, naglalakad kami ng malayo papunta ng school. Wala pang internet noon at nagre-research kami sa mga library. Napakaswerte ninyo. Yan ang palagi nyo naririnig, di ba? But now you get to tell them, tita, tito, lolo, lola, nakapag-aral na ba kayo habang may pandemic? For this year's National Students Day, I would like to congratulate each one of you and recognize the effort, the adjustments, and dedication you have shown as we all continue with classes during the pandemic. You have made us, your teachers, your parents, your DepEd family, proud of the passion you put towards your education and growth. The Department of Education has fought hard for education to continue despite the obstacles posed by this global pandemic, and it will continue to fight for every child's right to education. And collectively, with your teachers and parents, we will all help each other, and your thirst for knowledge, we will make it all possible. So moving forward, we commit to explore all options to make learning more accessible and conducive in this new normal. Because the only hope we have moving forward is for us to continue to build strong foundations for you, our dear students, to be capable and responsible future members of our society. Thank you at mabuhay ang estudyanteng Pilipino. God bless DepEd. God bless all of us.
To our colleagues from the Office of the Undersecretary for Administration, Bureau of Learner Support Services, Youth Formation Division, DepEd Region 5, and to all Filipino learners, a meaningful day of celebration to everyone. Ngayong araw, sa ating pagdiriwang ng National Students Day, kinikilala ang mga kabataan at lahat ng mga mag-aaral bilang haligi at susi sa pagtataguyod at pagtatagumpay ng ating bayan. In your own special ways, you all have been making difference in your respective homes, schools, and communities. Your inspiring advocacies, talents, and passions serve as the fuel that keep the Department of Education going to ensure accessible, quality basic education and learning continuity in these challenging times. Mga mahal naming mga mag-aaral, kinikilala ng ating kagawaran na ang pag-aaral at pagkatuto sa panahon ng pandemya ay hindi naging madali. You are among those at the forefront in navigating the challenges posed by the new normal concerning education, from school closures to restricted movements to disrupted routines and social and emotional support systems, and this is no easy feat. Present-day learners are also exposed to certain kinds of exploitation, stigma, exclusions, rapid developments, and the oversaturation of information and disinformation, which in effect pose threats to your overall safety and well-being. Nonetheless, each one of you still strives to have learning gains despite the difficulties of distance learning, adapting to current blended learning modes. Beyond your student life in school, you also continue to fight for your rights, be part of addressing the said issues, and empower those in positions to lead with integrity. To this end, the department does not only recognize your invaluable contributions in the context of education, but also in fostering love of country and social responsibility as we build a better tomorrow. Sa pamamagitan ng ating pagdiriwang ngayong araw, pinahatid natin ang buong suporta sa lahat ng mga mag-aaral dahil kinikilala kayo bilang mga bayani sa panahon ng pandemya at ang inyong pagsusumikap at pagiging masugid sa pag-aaral upang makamit ang inyong mga hangarin sa buhay ay magbibigay ng panibagong silay ng pag-asa. We encourage students to stay hardworking, disciplined, and persevering, contributing to the realization of a resilient education system in our country as the department is with you in identifying efficient practices and initiatives to support your learning and well-being. Isang pangarap na sa araw na ito, National Students Day, ang mga paaralan ay magpapahatid din ng kanilang suporta at mga aktibidades para sa ating mga mag-aaral. May we continue to affirm our shared goal in letting the youth's voices be heard on this special day. Again, an empowering and profound National Students Day 2021 to everyone. Stay safe and healthy.
Talagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ang pagkaw, ay hinagang tulad awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang isang lang matawad mo'y tagumpay na nagtitingin, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may magtitingin. Luman ang araw ng walhati pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang bigaya ng pagkay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Dear God, the spring of life and light, you have called us. Your children deserve your will with open hearts. We are grateful for the opportunity to gather in your name and be of service to others. Grant us the light of your Spirit to lead the way as we fulfill our responsibilities for the betterment of education in this country. Using our puso, may you grant to us the purest of intentions and the burning desire to spread love to our fellow countrymen. The love you selflessly showered to us is the kind of love we want flowing within us, so we can be stewards of your love for others. Our galing is a gift from you. Help us as we use these talents and abilities for your glory. May you help us keep the vigor within us to continue to refine and hone these abilities for the greater good. Grant us the humility to acknowledge that we do not own these talents, they are yours. Therefore, we hope to be deserving channels of your generosity and love. Using our talino, may you open our minds to the endless possibilities of the world. May you guide and lead us as we make decisions that will impact the lives of others. Shower us with the knowledge to navigate through trials and obstacles, and the wisdom to lead with discernment, compassion, and empathy. God of love, you entrust upon us the treasures of the Holy Spirit for the common good. May your blessings radiate from us to others in a new spirit of service. We ask this through our Creator, the light of the world. Amen.
Kabataang Pilipino, may makabansang paninindigan gamit ang puso, galing at talino. Live from Taysan Resettlement Integrated School and Katsawang Ruins all the way from Albay. This is the National Students' Day 2021.
Ilalaban namin ang nararapat at tamang gagawin. Iba na tayo ngayon, matibay ang loob. Sabihin ko, sabihin nyo, kaya natin to. Kabataang Pinoy, pagbutihan mo pag-asa ka ng buong mundo. Kabataang Pinoy, kayang-kaya mo. Pinoy ako, Pinoy tayo. Kabataang Pinoy, pagbutihan mo pag-asa ka ng buong mundo. Kabataang Pinoy, kayang-kaya mo. Pinoy ako, Pinoy tayo. Kabataang Pinoy, pagbutihan mo pag-asa ka ng buong mundo. Kabataang Pinoy, kayang-kaya mo. Pinoy ako, Pinoy tayo.
Marahay na hapon sa Indogabos at mula sa iba't ibang panig ng bansa, mabuhay ang kabataang Pilipino. This is momentous day to highlight and revitalize the role and power of Filipino students nationwide.
So today, we put the spotlight to all of us, mga mag-aaral na Pilipino, and our significant role in nation building. Our stories of struggles and triumphs are what make us truly exceptional and one of a kind.
From exciting performances, inspiring stories of passion and advocacies, to engaging and fun-filled youth chikahan, tsak na swak ang hapon na ito para sa inyo.
Kaya naman kung nasa Luzon, Visayas o Mindanao ka man, kasama ka sa ating espesyal na selebrasyon ngayong araw na to, mga kapwa ko mag-aaral, halina't samahan kami ngayong hapon na to. Ako pala si classmate Jerome, ang sintonadong singer mula sa Legazpi City National High School.
Ako naman si classmate Gianna, ang student photographer na kayang picturean ang future natin together.
Ako naman si classmate Nodel, ang cute and humble student of Legazpi City National High School.
At ako naman si classmate Ayoshi, ang smooth like butter dancer ng Legazpi City National High School. And welcome
to the 2021 National Students Day Celebration.
Kabataang Pilipino, may makabansang paninindigan
Gamit ang puso, galing at talino. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat at syempre sa aking mga kasama dito ngayon sa ating National Students Day Celebration. Hello classmate Ayoshi, ikaw ba ay excited na ba sa ating handog na programa ngayong hapon?
Hey, hey, hey! Hello classmate Ludella. I am super thrilled for this afternoon because we are going to have so much fun engaging with our fellow students from all over the country. At hindi lang yan, marami din tayong inihandang nakakamanghang performances, inspiring talks, mga papremyo at iba pa.
Tama ka dyan, classmate Ayoshi. At syempre, kumustahin naman natin sina classmate Gianna at Jerome na ngayon ay na-enjoy ang majestic views ng Mayon Volcano dyan sa Daraga Albay. Sana all!
Hi classmate Adele! Hi Kuya Ayoshi! Nandito nga kami ngayon sa Cagsawa Ruins, bringing to you our National Students Day celebration all the way from Bicol. Seeing you both there at the Isan Resettlement Integrated School brings so many memories sa mga panahon that we can still hang out with our classmates sa school face to face. Yung feeling na may usual tambayan kayo ng classmates at barkada nyo while waiting for your teacher or kung may recess. Nakakamiss. But of course, safety first muna tayo as we all look forward to once again being able to meet each other sa ating mga paaralan. Diba, classmate Jerome?
Actually, that's right, classmate Gianna. Kapit lang at malalagpasin din natin to. Kaya naman, isa sa aming mga goals ngayong araw is to give you a one-of-a-kind and a virtual ganap like no other sa pinagsanib na puwersa ng Youth Formation Division at SDOs ng Legazpi City, Tabaco City, Albay, and Masbate Province. We are set to kickstart our virtual National Students Day celebration that will give each Filipino student a sense of pride and empowerment dahil ikaw isang mag-aaral na Pilipino na may makabansang paninindigan.
Pero tanong ko lang, classmate Jerome, para saan nga ba ang selebrasyong ito? Why do we celebrate the National Students Day? Ate Lodel, Kuya Ayoshi, may sagot po ba kayo dyan?
Naku, syempre naman, classmates yan. Nakapag-research naman kami at nalaman namin na ang National Students Day pala ay anchored on Republic Act 11369 or tinatawag natin na National Students Day Act, mandating students and youth-oriented agencies kagaya ng Department of Education to conduct an annual program of activities that will promote love of country and social responsibility sa ating mga kabataang mag-aaral.
In observance with the International Students' Day, this celebration also commemorates the lives of 9 Czechoslovakian students who bravely showcased student power in the midst of oppressive times in 1939. Decades later, buhay na buhay pa rin ang tatag ng puso, galing at talino ng mga mag-aaral na Pilipino.
Wow! Student power at its finest! Today is indeed our day, mga kapwa kong mag-aaral na Pilipino. Kaya i-invite nyo na lahat ng mga kaklase nyo, mga kaibigan, mga kapitbahay, pati na rin si crush. Ito na ang tamang panahon para makapag-chat sa crush nyo at invite nyo sa ating selebrasyon ngayong hapon. Share our Facebook live stream and don't forget to use the hashtags National Students Day 2021, hashtag Makabansang Paninindigan, and hashtag DepEd Kabataan 2021.
Nakutong si Jerome. Sinisingit pa talaga yung crush niya. Ako din nga. Kidding aside, we are definitely set for this afternoon's dynamic energy. Iba talaga pagkabataang Pilipino ang pinag-uusapan. Kaya naman, let us jumpstart this year's National Students Day celebration with a message from the Chief of the Youth Formation Division, Mr. Adolf P. Aguilar.
Mabuhay! A great deal of history has been shaped by the power of students. A quick walk down memory lane will lead you to benchmarks of time around the world, where students prove that they too can make a difference. A lot of what I have come to know, believe, and embody were all instilled in me during my student years. And I have my education coupled by the unwavering dedication of my teachers to thank for. Today is a historic day for all Filipino learners. Today we celebrate their stories, their successes, their potentials, their perseverance, their resilience, and their persistence to continue to shine despite the dark times we are in. Ngayon, mas pinapaigting natin ang ating kampanya upang ipaglaban at bigyan ang ating mga mag-aaral ng nararapat na mga oportunidad upang magtagumpay sa laban ng buhay. Sa araw na ito, kinikilala natin ang bawat kwento ng pagpupursige at bibigyan natin sila ng pagkakataong ipamalas ang kanilang angking puso, galing at talino para sa bayan. Our students have a significant role to fulfill in our trust for nation building. Magnifying their many small acts of empowerment can bring ripples of change in their respective communities and in the country. The challenge lies in all of us to make sure no students get left behind and that all students deserve the quality of education we vow to provide for them. In this year's virtual celebration of the National Students' Day, we bring a fresher perspective to student empowerment. Students become more empowered when they feel important and when their potentials are recognized. Today, we give them the spotlight to perform, showcase, inspire, and advocate. May this celebration open more doors for our students to become extraordinary in their own special ways. Because after all, naniniwala tayo na ang mag-aaral na Pilipino ay may makabansang paninindigan gamit ang kanilang puso, galing at talino. Happy National Students' Day!
Thank you so much for actively campaigning for our welfare and empowerment, Chief Aguilar. Kami po ay saludo sa inyo. Ngayon naman, let us welcome another inspiring leader from DepEd for a message. Serving as the Director of the Bureau of Learner Support Services, Director Lope B. Santos III.
Isang malayang pagpupugay. Ang Bureau of Learner Support Services ng Department of Education ay nakikiisa sa mga mag-aaral na Pilipino sa pagdiriwang ng National Students Day at International Students Day. This twin celebration is an institutionalization of our recognition to student power and to their contribution to nation building. The National Students Act mandates the observance of November 17 of every year as National Students Day. Likewise, the International Students Day commemorates the martyrdom of 9 students and professor leaders in 1939 when the Nazis stormed the University of Prague due to demonstration against the killing of Jan of Letal and the occupation of Czechoslovakia. The Filipino youth and students have the same passion with their counterparts around the globe. The nationalist fervor of the Filipino students have historical imprints in fighting for our country and for our freedom. In this era of health emergency, our students continue to serve the nation, continue their education, harnessing critical thinking, developing skills, expressing militancy, and displaying positive activism. Sa ating mga mag-aaral, mga leader ng student governments, pupil government, at sa maraming leader ng organisasyon ng mga mag-aaral, kami ay nagpupugay at kumikilala sa inyong kakayahan at kasanayang handog sa ating bayan. Sa buhay natin, ang mga values ng DepEd, maka-Diyos, maka-tao, maka-bansa, makakalikasan. Mabuhay ang mga mag-aaral na Pilipino. Mabuhay ang DepEd, mabuhay ang Pilipinas.
Maraming salamat, Director Santos, for that meaningful message para sa aming lahat. Before we continue with our next set of inspiring messages, let us all be amazed by the vocal prowess of a student from Legazpi City National High School, Zaira May Bona.
Lagi may lungkot at saya, ganyan talaga kung bakit kakamba lagi ang problema sa tuwina. At kung ikaw naman ay magmumugmo, dadami lamang ang mga kulupot. Tatanda ka't puputi ang iyong buhok. Problema
Maraming salamat, classmate Zaira, for serenading us with that very beautiful song. At syempre mga classmates, meron din ako ditong pambato pagdating sa biritan at kantahan. Classmate Jerome, pasampol naman dyan! Sampol! Sampol!
Wait lang, classmate Gianna. Prepare muna ako. Wait. 3, 2, 1, go. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Of course, I couldn't say no to all our students watching for our live celebration today, classmate Gianna. Kasi nga, di ba, an important aspect of student empowerment is being confident in your skills and talents.
At this point, let us all listen to another surely inspiring message to be given to us by our Undersecretary for Administration, Engineer Alain Del Bustamante Pascua.
Since that fateful day when we all entered the global lockdown, this pandemic has really tested our country down to its core. It created a global crisis, something that we have not prepared for. This led to the scarcity of our basic needs, posed a threat to our health and safety, and led to a recalibration of the way we view and approach education in the country. Despite all this, we have seen how Filipino students continued to rise to the challenges brought about by the pandemic. The difficulties you all face in the midst of this pandemic proved to be indelible marks of your dedication, hard work, and resilience. All your efforts and hard work inspire us here in the Department of Education to continue doing our best in providing you with the kind of education you need and deserve to succeed in life. Kayo ang isa sa mga pinakamasigasig na kabataan sa buong mundo. Tag as one of the youngest populations throughout Asia. Ramdam natin na sa mga nagdaang taon, ang kontribusyon ng mga mag-aaral na kabataan sa ating pag-usad bilang isang bansa. Kaya naman kami dito sa DepEd, through our various platforms, programs, and initiatives, will continue to advocate for student empowerment, inculcating the values of nationhood and social responsibility to all learners nationwide. Today's celebration of the National Students' Day will further provide you, our beloved students, the opportunity to be recognized and celebrated in their role and invaluable contribution towards nation building. This will also provide you with a platform to showcase your talents and skills and make a statement of empowerment to the rest of the country. Hindi kayo mga pawang mag-aaral lamang. Kayo ay mag-aaral na mga Pilipino na may makabansang paninindigan. Mabuhay kayo, mabuhay ang mga mag-aaral na Pilipino. Happy National Students' Day!
Talaga nga namang tagos sa puso at isipan ang inyong mensahe, Yusek Alain. Thank you for continuing to champion for every Filipino learner. Pero syempre, this day would not be complete without the words of DepEd's main legacy builder. Mga kapwa kong mag-aaral, ating pakinggan ang mensahe mula sa ating pinakamamahal na kalihim, the Honorable Leonor M. Briones.
Good day, everyone. I'd like to congratulate the Bureau of Learner Support Services and the Youth Division for organizing this National Students' Day 2021. Republic Act 11369, known as the National Students' Day Act, mandates the National Youth Commission, the Department of Education, and the Commission on Higher Education to conduct an annual program of activities that will support the love of country and social responsibility among the youth and promote the observance of International Students' Day. This celebration commemorates the execution of the 9 Czechoslovakian students who fought against Nazi occupation during the time of Adolf Hitler last November 17, 1931, 1 year before I was born, to end the unjust treatment inflicted by Hitler. Looking back to 1896, Filipinos shared the same gallantry, the same story as the Czechoslovakian students. Like Jose Rizal, who advocated peacefully for liberty rather than violent means through his book Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, and Andres Bonifacio, who used his talents in visual arts and craftsmanship even at a young age to help his family, and then later on established the Kataas-Taasan Kagalang-galang na Katipunan ng mga Anak ng Bayan or KKK against the Spanish regime. Presently, with the declaration of the state of public health emergency in the Philippines due to the coronavirus disease and the pandemic that ensued, plus the enactment of RA number 11469, otherwise known as the Bayanihan to Heal as One Act, DepEd is one with the country in assuring safety and learning continuity. Due to the implementation of the enhanced community quarantine on 16 March 2020, which placed travel restrictions and limited activities in the whole island of Luzon and other regions, the students were placed in a very limited space. Given this, hundreds of thousands of students in the country will likewise face increasing threats to their safety and well-being, including mistreatment, gender-based violence, exploitation, and social exclusion. In a matter of months, COVID-19 has upended the lives of students and their families. School closures and movement restrictions are disrupting students' routines and support systems. This led them to navigate the new normal. The youth have emerged on social media to find hope and ways to become heroes of the pandemic in terms of educating people, tackling misinformation and stigma, and lifting the spirits of leaders and letting their voices be heard. For our part, we should develop within ourselves the same fervor Rizal had instilled in us, the love for country at an early age, which will inculcate the values of discipline and organization, and will impart common sense to young generations of Filipinos. Everyone has the potential to grow, to excel, and be the pride of the nation in many, many different ways. I hope you enjoy and learn from our National Students' Day celebration, and I hope that this will be a continuing activity which will contribute to the development of the youth, especially those who are under our care in the Department of Education. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Secretary Briones, for your strong words of affirmation and inspiration to all of us. Pangako namin na hindi po namin kayo bibiguin.
Tama ka dyan, classmate Ayoshi. At syempre, hatidin natin ang mensahe ng pag-asa sa bawat kabataang Pilipino na mangarap at magpursige upang makamit ang ating mga mithiin, encapsulating the message of reaching for our dreams and igniting the hope within us. Here's a song to be given to us by Ashley John Igonia from Legazpi City National High School.
I've been staring at the edge of the water long as I can remember, never really knowing why. I wish I could be the perfect daughter, but I come back to the water no matter how hard I try. Every turn I take, every trail I track, every path I make, every road leads back to the place I know, where I cannot go, where I long to be. See the line where the sky meets the sea, it calls me, and no one knows how far it goes. If the wind of my sail on the sea stays behind me, one day just no telling how far I'll go. I know everybody on this island seems so happy on this island. Everything is by design. I know everybody on this island has a role on this island, so maybe I can roll with mine. I can lead with pride, I can make us strong. I'll be satisfied if I play along, but the voice inside sings a different song. What is wrong with me? See the light as it shines on the sea, it's blinding, and no one knows how deep it goes. And it seems like it's calling out to me, so come find me and let me know what's beyond that line. Will I cross that line? See the line where the sky meets the sea, it calls me, and no one knows how far it goes. If the wind in my sail on the sea stays behind me, one day I'll know how far I'll go.
There truly is just no telling how far we'll go. Kaya naman maging palaban sa buhay ating mga classmates, maraming salamat sa napakagandang awitin, classmate Ashley. Alam mo, classmate Jerome, isa sa pinaka-inaabangan ko na parte ng ating programa ay ang makinig sa ating mga special speakers who will share their stories of passion and advocacy to all of us through the National Students Day 2021 Speed Talks, Stories of Passion and Advocacy.
Using the 25 by 25 format, our three speakers will present 25 photos times 25 seconds each. Excited na ako sa kanilang inhandang mga sorpresa para sa ating lahat. Kaya simulan na natin at ipakilala ang ating unang speaker.
Our first guest is a 20-year-old youth advocate whose journey started from his experience growing up in an environment surrounded by poverty, which led him to begin volunteering at 9. As a visionary of an engaged Filipino youth community, he started Youth Advocates for the Philippines in Corporations, or YAP, in 2019 to break down opportunity barriers for the youth and other disadvantaged sectors. Using development initiatives with inclusion, innovation, and empowerment at its core, has scaled to the ASEAN Youth Advocates Network in 10 Southeast Asian countries. Mga classmates, let us all welcome Mr. Emmanuel Myros Ponon.
Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Emmanuel Mayrus Ponon. I am a 20-year-old student at De La Salle University. I am a scholar and I am taking up development studies and economics. And if I were to describe myself in one sentence, I love to advocate for relevant causes. And that is why for today, I will be sharing my story. At napakasaya ko ngayong araw dahil kasama ko kayong lahat. This is our day. Happy National Students Day sa inyong lahat. It is a privilege and I'm very humbled to share my story to you. So, without further ado, let me share my screen as I share with you 25 photos that would encapsulate my story that led me to volunteer, to advocate, and to actually want it to be my passion. For this to be what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I mean that. So without further ado, I will be sharing my screen. Again, talks Happy National Students Day. Let's start. As you can see in my next slide, this is a photo of me. This was a preschool photo of me. And I'm sharing this, hindi dahil cute ako, pero dahil this encapsulates my story. I was a kid, I was an introvert. Siguro may medal yung picture na yan, but that wasn't always the case. I was shy. I was actually a premature student. For a fun fact, kaya Myros ang pangalan ko kasi ang Latin niya is miracle. And I lived in Paco, Manila. And so this is a picture of Paco Park. Hindi ko po yan kuha. Sa Google lang yan. And this is where I grew up on. And this is very essential because dito ko nakita at a very young age the situation of the country, the situation of the Philippines, on what led me to actually want to serve. And yeah, and I lived in Paco and I wasn't allowed to go outside. Because why? Because laging nagkakasunog lagi. And that, Paco is known to that. And so kami, nakakasanayan namin na may pupunta sa bahay namin at may manghihingi ng pagkain. And my parents paved the way for me. Kasi we were only living in a rented house. Kasi galing Bicol yung dalawa kong magulang. And they worked so hard, earned their degrees. And ayun, pinanganak ako sa Manila. And despite us being a new family, they were there. And doon ko nakita yung importance. Poverty was present. Inefficiencies were present. And so I wanted to volunteer. And this is a picture of my first volunteer experience. People would make fun of me from this kasi like ko siyang sinasabi, but I volunteered at a very young age. I volunteered at 9 years old. And this was the first. In Tandaay, in Camarines Sur, this was our first gift giving that I organized. And so I wanted to lead, but I wasn't able to lead. You know why? Because I was bullied. Diba? Siyempre, the first step is to lead in school. Pero I'm not like you. You may see my global awards, you may see my organizations. Wala ako sa school. Kasi sabi nila, di naman pwede mag-lead yung hindi bibo, yung hindi close kay teacher. Hindi naman ako extrovert, hindi rin ako matalino. I was taking remedial classes. And so I couldn't lead inside school. And so I had to work hard and remain as a volunteer. Pero nakikita ko sa pag-volunteer ko, napaka-awkward to volunteer as a 10-year-old in front of 20 to 25-year-olds. So I was still trying. I was always joining seminars such as this. And the first leadership position that I held was in senior high school. I was around 16 to 17. And I remember my parents even doubting me. And they would always, ako yung nag-iipon para sumali sa mga events. And so when I decided to lead in senior high school, even my teachers doubted me. Di naman yan matalino, ba't bigla siyang nag-lead? Bakit bigla siya nagtatag ng organization sa eskwelahan niya? Bakit siya nasa stage? Bakit siyang may mga project? And I would get stigmatized for that. And I knew that something had to happen. And so I always would work so hard. And again, lagi akong nagtitipid to join events, to join trainings, and to continue to volunteer and commute. And this is my first international event. And it was a model United Nations na ngayon napakasikat. It's something that I don't suggest for you to go into now kasi it is costly, but it's something that really paved me the way to, to start to serve and to continue volunteering. This is a picture of mine, no? This was the first of many DP Blast, and this was the first organization that I led. I was the president of the Creative Business Association, an organization that is for the ABM students. In our school, in senior high, we only had ABM and STEM. And so Kasi sa school namin, nakita ko wala pang active sa org, so ang raming mga pagpunta ng college. And I wanted to make something. I was actually awarded as the most outstanding organization member through my batch. And I knew then that I entered and in LaSalle, no, when I was given the opportunity to be a LaSallian as a scholar, I knew that I wanted to continue to serve. And so usually my college life in LaSalle starts in September, and which means I had 5 months, 4 to 5 months, because I ended in May. And so I continued to do the things that I do. I continued to volunteer. I continued to earn money to join events, and I was fortunately enough, and I was joining organizations. As seen in the picture, I was volunteering for Cinemalaya. I was in my first 5 speaking engagements, and I would always ask, do you know what an advocacy is? And people would not know. And I would continue form every day my volunteer opportunity ako niyan. I used to be part of choirs. So I volunteered in CCP so many times. I joined multiple events by universities, and I believe this is the biggest break of what led to my organizations. I never did expect. Again, hindi ako matalino, hindi ako naging partang SSG. And this event really changed everything because I was selected by the National Youth Commission to represent the Philippines in Thailand for an ASEAN conference. And I thought event lang siya. Gagawa ng declaration, uuwi. Pero hindi. Ending that, and this was very funny because this is the ASEAN University Student Council Union. May isa sa aming mga delegates magiging officer at mag-organize ng next at gagawa ng project. And I was the one selected. And ang funny nun kasi going back to our timeline, hindi pa nga ako college student. Tapos ako naging Philippine officer of the Council Union. Student government ng lahat. And so a week I decided to look into Youth Advocates for the Philippines. This is the organization that I founded. And we started reserving, because we didn't have a place, in Coffee Project. This is the first meeting of everything that you see today. And so what we talked about was this. Going back, looking back at everything that I struggled, I knew that the youth need to have a safe space. Mahirap kapag magkakaiba yung edad. They need to be guided along with their advocacy, regardless of what it is. As you see in the photo, this is our first event. And it was to celebrate Mental Health Month, October of 2019. And again, we wanted an inclusive space where the youth can be trained, especially in capacity building, in order to make a difference. Regardless of your age, whether you're 13, 11, we accept that. Regardless if matalino ka, kung ano man ang experience mo, we accept that. Because we know and we believe in the youth's capabilities to make a difference. And so we continued to have events. And I was a freshman student. I had to adjust. Pero every week, Saturday, Sunday, and my free time, we would organize these events. This is the Youth Advocate Summit in Makati. And this was our biggest event. This was in an unnamed island in Karamoan. And more than 600 people were there. And we were able to do a project for the environment and another Youth Advocate Summit, our flagship project, to these communities. And this was to celebrate Christmas. And I celebrated Christmas with them in this lively island. And then, of course, the pandemic hit. And now I shared to you, if you were to look at my Facebook account or through my social media accounts, now you don't hear Youth Advocates for the Philippines. You hear ASEAN Youth Advocates Network because we have expanded. Most businesses went smaller because of the pandemic. We went bigger. Now we're in 10 countries. Because I was representing ASEAN, diba, as a Philippine officer, and we saw that not just in the Philippines, but in Southeast Asia was needed. And so we continued, we persisted, and we prevailed. And now, diba, isipin nyo, we got to expand through a Zoom call. And people thought of us as strangers. But you know what we said? Believe in our story, believe in our advocacy, trust us. And now we're proud to say that we're in 10 Southeast Asian countries. And we recently hosted the ASEAN Youth Forum with the Prime Minister of Brunei. And the photo below was our Waves to Christmas project, where we donated 30 boats to the fisheries, the fishermen na nasalanta ng bagyo. Now, as you can see in your screens, this was me representing the United Nations and the UNODC Youth Forum last March. And, you know, until today, hindi pa rin ako makapaniwala sa lahat ng opportunities. Never ko naman to ginusto. Going back to us becoming the organizers of the official youth event of Brunei as the chair of ASEAN this year. We were the ones that organized that, and we are very proud. And this isn't me. This was those who believed in me, those who believed in someone with no leadership background only until senior high school. And now we're organizing events for the Prime Minister of Brunei. And yeah, I'm sharing more photos. This is a photo of me being the front cover of the Manila Times magazine. I've been in multiple media outlets, but I don't do it for that. I just want to really be an example, maybe an inspiration to some. But for me, I want to make advocacy a lifestyle for the youth all over the world. And so now our mission and vision has changed, but our heart still stays the same. Global awards, recognitions, grants, they're all good, but we started with nothing. And come to think of it, this all happened 2 years ago. This all happened October 2019. And so if I were to give takeaways, is leadership, because we lead voluntary. And when we lead voluntary, we give something. And when we give something, it should be selfless. So let's become selfless leaders. Today, 2 years ahead of my story that led me with an organization today, I now present to you my story and my determination to continue and to keep going. I am just a student, and you are all students with the potential to be better, to be bold, and to really make a difference for our world. Once again, I'm Myros Ponon at maraming salamat sa pakikinig.
Maraming salamat for that truly inspiring talk, Kuya Myros. You are truly an embodiment of an empowered Filipino student. Balang araw, pagsisikapin po namin na maging katulad ninyo. This time, let me introduce our next speaker. Our next guest speaker is Miss Philippine Earth Air 2020, an uninspiring humanitarian and environmental lawyer, an advocate for the environment. She is also the founder of DIWA, Uplifting Filipinos Through Sustainable Aid, a non-profit initiative that seeks to provide livelihood assistance to Filipinos adversely affected by the coronavirus pandemic. She currently works with Greenpeace South Asia as a community work associate for climate justice and energy transition campaign. Mga classmates, let us welcome Miss Patricia Shirley Santos.
All right. Thank you very much for that very gracious introduction. And of course, I would like to thank the Youth Formation Division in partnership with the Department of Education Region 5, the host for today's event. Thank you very much for inviting me to celebrate National Students Day. And of course, marahay na hapon po sa Indugabos. It's really an honor for me knowing that my region is hosting this event. And it's also quite nostalgic for me to be joining you today talking about National Students Day. Someone who used to put in so many hours volunteering for the National Students' Rights and Welfare Coalition back when it was one of the most strongest, if I might say, one of the strongest youth empowerment campaigns during my time. So I'm very thankful. And of course, this cannot go by, this opportunity cannot be missed without saying hi or giving a shout out to these schools that have been a big part of my formation as a person. So I would like to say hi to the Raga North Central School, and of course to St. Agnes Academy, and of course a quick shout out na rin to Bicol University. Thank you very much to the three schools. If it were not for them, I know I wouldn't be the person that I am today. So once again, thank you very much, and it is an honor really to be here with you this afternoon. So I was invited to be part of Speed Talks and asked to share my story with regards to passion and advocacy. And it actually got me really excited because I'm actually at that point of my life where I feel like I have something to share, I have something to speak about, and I would like to be able to inspire the younger generation the same way that I was inspired by the generations that came before me. And so let's begin my story. I think they'll be sharing the photos. And that's the first bit. So when we talk about passion and advocacy, I always go back to what I'm very passionate about, no? And that is youth and women empowerment. And I think this is because I grew up in a household wherein I was an only child, and my dad died when I was 6 months. So it was just me, my mom, and my grandmother on the maternal side. And I think that in that environment, being surrounded by strong, independent women and having no kids inside, I think that is really what influenced me to be somebody who wanted to advocate for the welfare of women and at the same time, the safety of children. And I think I found my way into doing that by asking, what could I contribute? What could I give to the advocacy that I want to fight for? And I found out very early on that I had what they said, the gift of gab, which is why I started using my voice for worthy causes, like in this case, as you can see, the advocacy for HIV/AIDS, wherein I was actually I won the honor of becoming the Department of Health's Redvocate Ambassador, helping explain to people why it's important to remove the stigma that is usually associated with HIV and the people who are living with it. And for me, it was I did not know it back then when I first started my love affair with advocacies, but little did I know it would really be a big part of my formation as a person. Why? Because it develops so many parts of my personality. I don't think I would be here with you today speaking like this. And I don't think I would be brave enough to be standing there in the streets and rallying for climate action. And I don't think I would be there in the streets again of Malate, Manila, talking to people I do not know, strangers to be honest, about the HIV/AIDS advocacy that I was firmly in the mission of sharing with people in our country, because I believe that it was something that we had to share. And I also don't think that I would be there in that room talking to different mayors of local government units. Actually, these are mayors of different municipalities, and actually just speaking my mind, conversing with them, even sharing much of my own personal stories, just to make a point about the advocacies that I really care about. And that is the magic of being in an advocacy. You develop yourself as a person, you develop your network of people that you will interact with, that you will care about, and you will share your joys and your sorrows with. And you will actually get the chance to give back to the community that gave so much for you to become the person that you are today. And I think that's what makes me so excited to talk to you about advocacy and passion, because for me, advocacy and passion should really be demonstrated by action. That's why I make it a point to always show other people by action the things I believe in, like me in that case, getting tested for HIV/AIDS, and me in this case, going outside in the middle of the pandemic. I know it's dangerous, right? But I was very responsible. But going outside in the middle of the pandemic and doing what I can to help people. In this case, we were helping families who lost their homes due to a fire in Barangay 679, Manila. And for me, that is really the center of advocacy. I think it's really about action and your purpose. And moving forward, as somebody who grew up in pageants. Some of you who know me know that I grew up in pageants. I would always be thankful for the advocacy that I also meet along the way. The advocacy that I was able to form for Miss Philippines Earth was the Be Better initiative. And during the pandemic, I have to tell you that it really helped me manage my emotions, manage my energies. It helped me turn the negative into the good. It helped distract me from everything that was going on and thinking about how can I help the environment in the middle of this pandemic. And I think that is my point. My point is that advocacies, aside from forming you as a person, providing you with different opportunities, they also help take care of your mental and emotional and physical health by refocusing your energy. For us able to actually figure out the going. And for the Be Better initiative, the environmental advocacies that I was able to develop and get really grow an interest in. It also helped me as a person because I was able to create a talent that was deeply connected with environmental advocacy for. And I didn't know how to sing or to dance, so I did a declamation piece, and it won gold. It was a testament to how advocacies really helped me grow as a person. And even after the pageant, it was helping me grow, and it was still helping me, realize my own potential. Because after the pageant, we expanded Be Better initiative into becoming a DIWA. DIWA is actually a group that aims to provide sustainable aid to Filipinos who lost their jobs because of the pandemic. And the earlier picture was us helping GP drivers who lost their jobs actually build urban gardens wherein they could actually grow their own food. And we were also, raising enough money to give out Noche Buena aids or even food packets for families who really needed help during the pandemic. We even raised enough to share go bags. Those are actually go bags. They're full of essentials that families will need in the case of disasters like floods. And yeah, we were able to share also vegetable rescues wherein we bought vegetables that farmers were unable to sell and give it to them or distribute it as food aid instead of giving them the usual aid that's not very healthy. And all in all, I'm very proud of DIWA because we raised almost like 700,000, and we were able to really find community, find community within ourselves and actually share whatever we can to people. And it's beautiful. And even now, we continue to do that by talking online, raising money still. You can find us on Instagram if you want to help out. And, using my voice has never stopped. Using my voice for advocacy is still there, and it's making me feel very fulfilled. So you guys might be wondering, I've been doing this for a long period of time, almost 2 decades. And I have to say that, yes, it's true. Sometimes you get tired. Sometimes you question why are you doing these things over and over again and seeing so little change in our society. But for me, I always think back to the people, the people of my community, the people who I'm doing it for. Like Ate, who was a wife of a jeepney driver who is actually staying in that car, living in that car with all 4 of her children. And can you imagine 5 people living there? And also these children who live in Marikina, whose houses have been devastated, and you can see all their things outside in the street, and they lost a lot, and yet they're there, and some of them are just smiling back to you because you're there helping, giving back. And for me, that's the why, helping these people. And as I always say, in Tagalog, one of the things or the tricks that I do is magtira sa sarili. I always think about my personal goals. Like in this case, I have never forgotten about the progression of my legal career, my dream someday to become a lawyer, and my dream to someday do more for my society using that career. I also do not forget to enjoy life in the short moments that I get to travel and see the world. My guilty pleasure, I look around and see so many things to be thankful for, even if there are a lot of things that we get angry about in our society. And I think a very important aspect, in trying to stay focused and trying to do advocacy work despite everything is having people who are there to support you, like somebody who can love you and support you and be behind you, even though sometimes you do crazy things for the advocacy, like volunteer for free. And you're doing all these things to not get paid, but he's going to say, a good partner is going to say, go ahead and do what you love. And of course, my parent, no S, my single mom who was there behind me every step of the way, supporting me, even though sometimes she could not understand why I cared, why I cried for other people, why I felt strongly for the advocacy. And to all the women who are watching out there, all the little kids, little women, I just wanted to share that I hope that just not at the same time, but we don't have to choose between a degree and becoming a beauty queen if that's what you want, or becoming anything you want to become. And I think this is the last picture. And I think I just wanted to share this message because when I was younger, I was bullied a lot. And today is National Students Day. And when we talk about passion and advocacy, I cannot help but think about bullying because growing up, I experienced bad bullying. And I think my message to that little girl got bullied is I hope that you will continue being unapologetically you, in a world where people are trying to tell you who you are. I hope that you will allow your life and the blessings that you are granted speak as to the goodness of your heart. And it is tough, to live a life of integrity and principles and to just, keep believing in the causes that you want to fight for. And even if you don't fit in, even if sometimes it's hard to fit in, don't worry because you were not born to fit in. Maybe you were born to stand out. And in a world filled with uncertainty and sometimes so much fear and hatred, I hope that you will be brave. And better yet, I hope that everybody will be kind. So that's all from me. Thank you very much for listening to my talk. Wow, that was a challenge, speed talking through all those pictures. But for National Students Day, that is my final message to all of you. I hope that you guys will find an advocacy that speaks out to your heart, an advocacy that will allow you to grow as a person, to experience different opportunities, that will open more opportunities until so on and so forth, until you reach your own personal goals and dreams. And I hope that you do not forget to value your life, to value the people you love, the time you spend with them. And I hope that you choose wisely with a partner that you will spend your life with, who will support you. And above all, I hope you guys stay brave and kind. Thank you and happy National Students Day, everybody.
Wow! Hindi lamang nag-uumapaw sa ganda si Ate Patricia, but she is also an empowered role model para sa lahat ng mag-aaral ng Pilipino. Kudos po sa iyo, Ate Pat. At this point, allow me to introduce our third and final speaker for Speed Talks. Our next guest is currently a Master Teacher 1 of Ligao National High School, teaching biology, earth science, and disaster risk reduction subjects. In 2013, he became a youth ambassador to the 40th SHIP for Southeast Asian Youth Program, aimed at promoting friendship and mutual understanding among the youths of Japan and the Southeast Asian nations. In 2019, he was included in the roster of 50 outstanding Bicol University awardees and was awarded a fellowship by the International Leaders in Education at the United States of America in 2018. Recently, he was hailed Most Outstanding SSG Teacher Advisor during the 2021 Gawad Siklab Awarding. Let us all welcome Teacher Saturnino Makasiinag Jr.
Noong aking kabataan, ibang-iba ang galaw ng mundo. Walang Facebook, walang YouTube, walang TikTok. Ngunit madaming laro. May habulan, may tumbang preso, at may piko. Ngunit kasabay ng mga laro ay ang responsibilidad ko bilang Pangulo mula grade 1 hanggang grade 6. Kung baga, work and play. Nung tumungtong ako sa high school, hindi ko ninais na matapos ang pagiging student leader. Bagkos, naging pundasyon ang aking karanasan para mahubog ang aking sarili. Sumali ako bilang isang mag-aaral sa iba't ibang kompetisyon at mga gawain. Ang pinakabuod nito ay nang maging pangulo ako ng Supreme Government Student at nagsilbi sa mas madaming mag-aaral sa Daraga National High School. Ang mga natutunan ko bilang isang student leader ay ang aking naging pundasyon sa pamantasan ng Bicol at maging guro sa iba't ibang paraang ito na pahusay ko ang aking sarili at nagsilbi bilang part ng University Student Council kung saan mas napalawak ko pa ang pagiging student leader ko sa pamamagitan ng iba't ibang programa na aming inilunsad. Noong 2010, ako ay nagtapos at nagpatuloy sa pagiging isang guro. Ngunit ang alab ng pagiging isang student leader ay hindi dito natapos. Bagkos, nagsimula ang panibagong yugto sa aking buhay bilang isang aktibong miyembro ng Daraga Parish Youth Group bilang kanilang isang tinatawag na Youth Servant Leader. Ito ay sa parokya Nuestra Señora de la Porteria sa Daraga Albay. Ginamit ko ang mga natutunan ko mula sa simula upang ibahagi sa kapwa ko kabataan ang mga pwedeng mangyari at pwede naming gawin. Naging aktibo ang grupo sa parokya mula sa Summer Youth Camp, Youth Encounter Program at sa iba-ibang programa na pinamunuan ng mga kabataan. Minsan nga, sinabihan ako ng nanay ko na lumipat na daw ako ng bahay. Ang tanong, kayo ba? Ano ang pinagkakaabalahan nyo ngayon? Dumagdag pa itong pandemya. Ano na ang ginagawa ng kabataan ngayon? Hindi lahat nasusukat sa social media. Kung baga, ang iba sa atin, hindi sanay na hindi humawak ng cellphone at hindi mag-update ng story sa Facebook or sa IG. Dapat produktibo pa rin tayo. Iba-iba man ang pinagdadaanan ng ating kabataan, isa lang ang mahalaga at dapat nating tandaan na tayo'y masaya habang gumagawa ng mga makabuluhang bagay. Ang mga bagay na ito ay huhulma ng ating pagkatao. Ang bawat bagay na ito ay magsisilbing bahagi upang mahubog ang ating puso, galing at talino. Ang mga bagay na ito ay magiging daanan at magsisilbing gabay upang ating marating ang iba't ibang karanasan na dapat nating marating sa buhay. Totoong mahirap maging isang student leader. Kailangang magsakripisyo, kailangan magpagod. Pero ito ay para sa mas ikabubuti ng kapwa nating kabataan. Ito rin ang nagbigay ng dahilan at daan para sa akin para makasali sa iba't ibang programa sa lokal man or sa internasyonal. Hindi ko makakalimutan ang aking experience nang naging part ako ng Shaper Southeast Asian Youth Program na kung saan kasama ko ang ilan sa mga kabataan sa Asia at sa Japan at inikot namin ang buong Asia para sa mga gawaing panglipunan. Noong 2018, naging parte ako ng International Leaders in Education Program na kung saan kasama ko ang iba pang mga guro para sa usaping pagpapaunlad ng kalagayan ng edukasyon sa aming mga bansa. Dito ko rin natutunan ang iba't ibang mga bagay na aking ginagawa sa kasalukuyan. Ang mga bagay na ito ay nagbukas ng aking mata para sa mas malalim na hangarin, para sa aking buhay, na kung saan kailangan kong ibahagi sa mga kabataan ang aking mga natutunan. Ang saya at ang ganda sa pakiramdam ay kailangan nilang maranasan bilang mga student leader at mga youth advocates sa kanilang kinabibilangang lipunan. Mas naging aktibo ako sa paglahok sa iba't ibang youth activities sa aming parokya pagkatapos ng 2013 Shipper Southeast Asian Youth Program. Ibinahagi ko sa kapwa ko kabataan ang aking mga natutunan at kami ay bumuo ng iba't ibang programa para sa kabataan tulad na lamang ng Summer Youth Camp, Youth Encounter Program at iba pa. Pinasimulan ko din sa aking paaralan ang bloodletting activities. Ito rin ay produkto ng Shipper Southeast Asian Youth Program. Ito ay naging parte ng activities namin sa Science Club. Dito ang mga mag-aaral ay nagbigay ng dugo sa mga kapwa nila nangangailangan. Dito rin nila nahubog ang kagalingan at ang importansya ng pagtulong sa kapwa. Ang mga gawain sa parokya at ang gawain sa paaralan ay nagbibigay ng pagkakataon sa mga kabataan upang kumilos sa mga gawaing panlipunan. Sapagkat ako'y naniniwala na kung anuman ang mga ginagawa natin at tinutulungan natin ang kabataan, sila ay mas nagiging produktibo, mas naiiwas sa masasamang gawa at sila ay nagiging kapaki-pakinabang. Nagtaguyod kami ng mga donation drives upang tulungan ang kapwa kabataan, ang mga nangangailangan, ang biktima ng kalamidad at iba pang mga tao. Ang pinakagusto ko ay nang pumunta kami sa isang kulungan upang magbigay ng donation sa mga kaibigan natin na nalihis ng daanan. Sa mga gawain ito, kasama ko ang mga officer, ang mga magulang at ang mga volunteer sa aming paaralan. Sila mismo ang saksi kung gaano kaganda ang mga gawaing nagbibigay saya at kurot sa puso. Ang mga gawain ito ay nakakapagod, pero ika nga, very rewarding. Kaya kahit kulang sa budget, patuloy pa rin ang mga programa namin. Kaya gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, kapag empowered ang mga kabataan sa pamamagitan ng pakikipaglahok sa mga gawaing makabuluhan, mas nagiging maunlad sila bilang mga kabataan. Ginigising natin ang kanilang mga puso na nag-aalab para gumawa at maging makabuluhan. Recently, ako at ang aking SSG President ay pinarangalan bilang bahagi ng Gawad Siklab 2021. Hindi naging hadlang ang pandemya para sa mga activities na aming pinamunuan. Ito ay tuloy na umusbong kahit na madaming mga bagay ang humadlang. Sa aking patnubay at gabay, naging aktibo at nakapaglikom kami ng mga pondo para tulungan ang mga nasalanta ng bagyo tulad noong 2020 na dinestroso ang Bicol Region ng Super Typhoon Rolly. Sa tulong ng mga officer at mga volunteer, kami ay nagbigay ng tulong sa mga nangangailangan sa pamamagitan ng Bucket of Kindness. Itinaguyod namin ang online activities tulad ng iVlog, Digitalks at Schoology upang magbigay gabay sa mga mag-aaral ngayong pandemya. Ginamit namin ang aming mga kakayahang teknikal para ipagpatuloy ang laban at magbigay ng tulong at gabay sa mga mag-aaral. Ang aking mga karanasan mula elementarya, high school, maging sa kolehiyo at sa Daraga Parish Youth Group ay nagbigay ng daan upang mas lalo akong magbigay ng gabay sa mga student leaders at ng mga iba pang grupo na aking kinabibilangan. Ika nga, this is my biggest accomplishment bilang isang teacher advisor. Isang karangalan na maging bahagi ng kanilang kabataan at tagumpay. Sa panahon ngayon, napakadami ng ating kinakaharap. Huwag nating ituon sa dami ng FB likes, shares, or sa anumang mga bagay. Kailangan tayong kumilos. Kailangang makilahok. Makilahok sa mga gawaing kapaki-pakinabang para sa ating lipunan. Sa kapangyarihan ng kabataan, Ang lubos na lakas ay makakamit kung tayo ay sama-sama. Ang kwento ko ay isa lamang sa libu-libong kwento ng pag-asa. Nagsimula ako bilang simpleng student leader sa aking paaralan. At dahil sa suporta ng kapwa ko kamag-aral, magulang at mga guro, nagi akong gabay sa ibang mga tao. At ang mga nagawa kong ito ay produkto ng iba't ibang experiences na aking nakamit mula noon hanggang ngayon. Ang araw na ito ay ginawa upang kayo'y bigyan ng pagkilala at inspirasyon sa bawat batang nanunood, sa bawat batang mag-heart at sa bawat batang magko-comment ng kaya ko to. Kayo ay magiging bagong sibol ng pag-asa. Kayo ang mga susunod na tagapagtanggol ng kabutihan at katotohanan. Sa muli, ako si Sir Saturn at ako ay naniniwala sa angking niyong kagalingan. Kayo ay magtatagumpay sa buhay. Kayo ang magsisilbing daan upang ang ibang kabataan ay mamulat sa mga gawaing panglipunan. Because I believe that empowering the youth is the best thing that I can offer for the next generation of heroes. Let us remember that when we help the youth, we help the future.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Saturn, for that amazing presentation and for your enduring dedication to inspire your student. Ang mga kagaya po ninyo ang patuloy na nagbibigay sa aming mga kabataan ng matagumpay na buhay.
Classmate Ludel, naku, talagang napuno ang puso, galing at talino ko ng inspirasyon mula sa ating mga guest speakers sa Speed Talks. It made me realize na even if we are all still students, we can still make a difference.
That's right, classmate Ayoshi. The possibilities are limitless because we are empowered students in our own ways. And speaking of empowerment, our next segment will officially introduce to all of us 4 highly talented, creative, and proactive Filipino students who will represent the country in the upcoming STEP Sunburst Youth Camp 2021, a prestigious international creative camp based in Singapore with the aims of showcasing the culture and creativity of the youth of Asia.
Proving that embracing creativity is indeed a form of student empowerment, here are our STEP Sunburst Youth Camp delegates. Ate Kayla Ballester of Quezon Province, Kuya John Edward Eugenio of Caloocan City, Ate Lira Gwen Villones of Negros Oriental, and Ate Rain Claire Ochosa of Muntinlupa City.
Oops. There. Hello. For those who don't know me yet, my name is Rain, but I doubt that this will be seen by anyone I do not know because this video is only exclusive for my family and friends. And you know what? My mom and dad doesn't know this yet, but I got in one of my college applications, y'all. I couldn't even speak right now. I'm so happy. I don't know how to tell this to them. My mom and dad doesn't know this yet. But I worked so hard with this. I tried my very best. All throughout the year, I was in my best behavior. And
I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you.
Oh my gosh. That's my mom. Oh no. Did she hear? Wait, I'll just go check. Bye. Love you.
Was that your voice, Mrs. Eugenio?
Yes, it was mine.
So you overheard that she got accepted into her dream university while she was recording?
No.
So why did you tell her you were so proud and happy for her when you didn't even hear what she said?
I wasn't telling that to her. I was telling that to my husband.
And that's you, Mr. Eugenio.
Obviously, yes.
Were you two even aware that she's one of the best students of the school she's currently enrolled in?
Of course, I'm her mother. I know that.
Really? Because it seems to me that she's never close with you two. I wonder why that is.
And what made you come to that conclusion, miss?
She told me, and you wouldn't be surprised to know what other things she told me. Congratulations! You did great in your exam today. Is your favorite subject math?
I don't think so, miss. Well, I did not expect at all to ace the test. But, well, here we are. I guess I just studied and studied and studied. Did the very best I can, as I always do.
That's good, but I hope you don't pressure yourself with that kind of mindset. You don't always have to be the best, you know.
Nope, I don't know. Gotta be the best in everything I do. I just want to have a stable job in the near future, earn some money, and move out.
Move out? In the nearest possible time? Why?
Well, I don't like distractions. I just want to have a good environment. That's all.
Don't you have a house?
Well, I think the better question is if I have a home.
What are you implying?
Look, I'm not implying anything. The truth is pretty obvious. She's not happy with the both of you.
That's impossible! She couldn't possibly run away because of that. What more could she ask for? We feed her, we give her a roof over her head, we buy her trends of clothes. We give her daily allowance.
That does not make a home, Mrs. Eugenio.
But that's my role as a parent.
Parents do not always feel like home.
Then she's ungrateful.
Sir, your child is missing. Ungrateful or not, you need to help us find her. Shouldn't you be the ones asking for help? You're her parents.
Fine. Do you want to know?
What happened that time after she stopped recording?
She came downstairs.
And why were you so happy and proud of your husband?
I'm so proud of you! I'm so happy for you! Is that what you want to hear? I'm paying the bills! I'm cleaning the house! I do everything around here, and you! What did you do? You take on another girl in your work!
Lower your voice! How many times do I have to tell you that I don't have any mistresses? I don't need you to be proud of me or be happy for me. In fact, I don't need you at all.
How can you say that? How about our daughter?
I love her daughter. But I don't think I love you anymore. Let's rush the divorce papers so this insanity can stop. Let's end this. I can't take it anymore.
Fine! Leave us!
The most beautiful things have the most tragic endings. We often hold a high standard for something to be beautiful. We mold it so intensely, bearing in mind that beauty equals perfection. In reality, it's the simple things that make something beautiful. Something as simple as love. Familial love creates that safe place for us deep in our souls. That's why it's often called home. It's sad that for some people, this love is void, and then they look for other things, sometimes the wrong things, to fill it. They go pleasing other people, setting impossible standards for themselves, because they think that it's the love they need. It's important to remember that everything genuinely successful starts with love. And if that love is broken, its sharp edges may cause something else to bleed. Sometimes it's the heart, other times it's the mind. Success starts with love. Love starts at home. Protect your home.
This year's National Students' Day is filled with exciting surprises. Here are our first batch of raffle prize winners who will receive a cash prize of 500 pesos. Ayman Muhammad S. Awil, Cotabato City National High School Main Campus, Cotabato City, Barn. Marshall Emir Flor, Apolonio Samson Elementary School, Quezon City, National Capital Region. Aris N. Millanes, Citero Francisco MNHS, Valenzuela City, National Capital Region. John Dave M. Remolacio, Bicol Regional Science High School, Ligao City, Region 5. Mark Jedrick V. Flores, Santa Rosa Science and Technology High School, Santa Rosa City, Region 4A. Christine May F. Cipriano, Rahal Angayan National High School, Pangasinan 2, Region 1. Chloe Margaret T. Dar, Pineda Elementary School, Pasig City, National Capital Region. John Michael L. Andilio, San Adriano Elementary School, Lipa Region 4A. Era Evangeline Rain Olaita, Ubalde Elementary School, Davao City, Region 11. Luis Angeli M. Briones, Poctol Elementary School, Quezon Province, Region 4A. Congratulations!
Congratulations to all the raffle prize winners. Sa mga hindi pinalad, huwag mag-alala dahil mayroon pa tayong final batch of winners later.
Kaya huwag kalimutan na i-share ang ating virtual celebration today of the National Students Day using the hashtags #National Students Day 2021, #Makabansang Paninindigan, #DepEd Kabataan 2021.
Classmate Ayoshi, excited na din ako sa highlight segment natin ngayong hapon dahil we have invited 4 exceptional students from all over the country to join us in a quick and fun chikahan. Welcome to the National Students Day 2021 Youth Tambayan Session.
May isang student leader, student athlete, student journalist, at student performer. All in sa ating quick kwentuhan on student life amidst the pandemic at kung ano-ano ang pinagkakaabalahan nila ngayon.
Magandang araw Pilipinas, magandang araw Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Ako po si Humphrey Soriano and you guessed it right, I'm a student journalist o isang mamamahayag mula sa mataas na paaralang pang-agham ng lungsod Quezon o Quezon City Science High School from the National Capital Region.
Mabuhay mga kabataang Pilipino! Ako si Clifford James Lagmay Dinduan, ang proud student athlete and student leader ng Dacado National High School, Davao City Division, Region 11.
What's up mga ka-classmates? My name is Sofia Vera Aloba. I'm a student, performer, and artist under the Division of Mandaue City from Mandaue City School for the Arts under Region 7.
Hello, Mabuhay Philippines. I am Paula Denise T. Catalia from Dr. Maria D. Pastrana National High School, Division of Quezon, Region 4A, Calabarzon, a proud student leader.
We know for a fact that this pandemic has really challenged every one of us in several ways. And what I've done to cope up with the challenges during the distance learning was to believe in myself more that I can do it. And with that, I was able to rise above the ashes and I was able to believe that I can be more and I can do more as a student. Thank you.
Well, you know what, Kuya Clifford, I'm one of the luckiest because I can use internet as my advantage to search on Google. At this pandemic, we're having online class, modular learning, so it is really hard. I think setting my priorities and proper time management really helped me a lot. Also, it's with the help of my teachers because they were really approachable. Kaya sa panahong ito, nakakatuwa pa rin matuto.
I actually agree with you, Paula. Independent learning has been a challenge for me. Therefore, I find online learning to be quite difficult, but can be manageable. Especially with the new learning system, self-learning kits, modules, online classes. I've tried everything, and to be honest, it is really hard. My teachers have really helped me grow when it comes to my educational life nowadays. My doubts, concerns, and worries lessen since I know I have great communication with my teachers. I know that it has not been easy for them too, so I can never say anything except that I am very grateful towards my teachers, the principal, and all the faculty staffs who had worked so hard to help me and my fellow students to excel and do great amidst the pandemic. So for me, time management and communication with the teachers helped me cope throughout the pandemic as a student. What about you, Kuya Humphrey?
I really agree po talaga sa sagot nilang tatlo na napakahirap po talaga ng online class na yung time management skills po talaga yung kailangan pagtuunan ng pansin personally. Ako naman po, I just put a fine line between school and my me time kasi parang yung setup sa bahay, 'di ba? Parang dun ka na nag-aaral, dun ka na rin kumakain, gumagawa parang yung school works mo na paghahalo mo na sa sariling oras mo. So, parang ako po parang dapat 9 o'clock tapos na ako. Parang kailangan kung ganito kakapag-Genshin na ako. Sa mga Genshin gamers dyan, ayan. Tapos minsan kailangan ganun mag-ML, ganun. Parang me time lang to distress ourselves sa napakaraming modules and performance arts. And of course, the teachers played a very important role then sa online class kasi they were very understanding. So shout out to my advisors and my teachers in Quezon na thank you po so much. So ayun naman po yung aking online class journey.
I couldn't deny the fact po na it's very hard to be a student and a student leader at the same time. A lot of people ask me if kaya ko pa ba, kaya mo pa ba, Clifford? And sometimes I have a self-doubt na what if mag-fail ako? What if hindi ko kayanin lahat ng to? But with the help of managing your time very well, setting priorities and setting goals at the same time, I was able to accomplish everything and fulfill my duties, both as a student and as a student leader. And I hope lahat ng mga estudyante dyan, sana mag-manage tayo ng time natin ng maigi and set your priorities. Yun lang po. Thank you so much.
Well, actually, umagree ako sa'yo, Kuya Clifford, kasi totoong setting priorities ang dapat natin ginagawa ngayon dahil bilang isang student leader, mahirap talaga siya kasi may mga task pa, may seminars, may webinars, may online classes na kailangan tayong tapusin at kailangan gawin. Well, for me, bilang student leader, I think nagagampanan ko yung leader ko ngayong pandemic, pagiging active din. Kasi I think doon laging nagfo-focus kasi laging online kasi siya. So, I think swerte na rin yung mga estudyante na nakakanood at nakakakita ng mga nagagawa natin ngayong pandemya. What about you, Ate Sofia?
I actually have to agree with Kuya Clifford and Paula. This new normal isn't really normal for me. Everything that has happened ever since the pandemic has been so sudden. I am an active learner in our school, and since I was an elementary student in this school that I am currently in right now, I was able to be a performer along with my fellow schoolmates. And at such a young age, I was exposed to many opportunities to show and express my talent in front of so many people, all thanks to my school. Me and my classmates, for now, amidst the pandemic, help each other. I used to procrastinate a lot, especially with so many tasks. But as a performer, I would say that I will also set priorities and have everything organized.
What I can say is iisa lang tayo ng pinagdadaanan bilang a student at may kasabay pa na another role sa ating school. At bilang isang journalist, parang kagaya ng sinabi ni Paula kanina, na napakadali na lang ngayon. Parang isa siya blessing na as a role ng journalist na makapag-reach ng mas maraming tao dahil we have shifted into digital technology and we knew that the digital technology played a very crucial role in informing other people kasi napakabilis, parang one click lang nandiyan na yung information. And the student journalist, ang naging challenge sa akin ay yung, of course, pag-assemble ng staffers, ng news, parang kailangan every now and then updated ka sa lahat ng nangyayari. And the teachers played a really crucial role. So, shout out ulit sa aking school paper advisor. Ayan. So prioritization and time management really is the key in achieving this, in fulfilling these roles.
Well, ano nga ba? But for me, empowered Filipino students are full of enthusiasm and eagerness to learn and face every challenges that may come, especially in this kind of pandemic.
I really agree with Paula that Filipinos really have to be empowered. Ika nga nila sa amin sa pamamahayag, Bayani ang tanglaw ng masang sa kapamamahayag na walang inuurungan. Sa pagdaan po ng maraming taon, nasaksihan ko na ang mga kalunos-lunos na istorya sa ating lipunan, ang mga biktima ng atrasadong sistema ng ating bansa. Marahil, isa ito sa regalong hatid ng pamamahayag na ilathala ang mga kwentong hindi madalas napapakinggan sa ating mga paaralan. Dapat nating isaboses at tugunan ang mga problemang patuloy na umuukit sa ating dyaryong pampaaralan. Tayo po ay tinatawagan upang tumindig sa pagbabago, makiisa sa reforma at progreso. Bumuo ng inklusibong komunidad, pundasyon ang pantay na pagtingin sa bawat kasarian. Pagproteksyon at pangangalaga sa mga kababaihan at ang paggalaw sa susunod na henerasyon ng mga kabataan. Ika nga nila para sa bata, para sa bayan.
In addition to what Paula and Humphrey shared to us, I believe that an empowered Filipino student is someone who is resilient, steadfast, and can rise above the ashes. And I believe that I am an example of that empowered Filipino student. Thank you. How about you, Sophia?
Wow, I really love all your answers. And thank you, Clifford. For me, an empowered student is someone who is simply diligent, wise, and someone who strongly values time and all the other good things. An empowered student is someone who is able to know and make the right decisions, not even as a student, but as an individual, a growing individual who accepts change, defeat, and loss. An empowered student is a competent student with the ability to learn from our mistakes. For me, an empowered Filipino student is someone who stands strong and firm despite the pandemic.
Thank you so much po sa ating mga classmates. At yun na nga ang ating Youth Tambayan session. I definitely learned a lot and got motivated to continue doing my best kahit na maraming challenges ngayon dahil sa pandemic. Di ba, classmate Ayoshi?
Tama ka dyan, classmate Ludel. Hindi dapat baging rason ang ating sitwasyon upang tayo huminto din sa pagkamit ng ating mga pangarap.
Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm a girl, the girl who has everything? Look at this trove, treasures untold. How many wonders can one cavern hold? Looking around, you'd you think, sure, she's got everything. I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I've got widgets and rockets galore. You want think of a box? Oh, I got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. I wanna be where the people are. I wanna see them dancing, walking around on those, what do you call them? Oh, feet. Flipping your fins, you won't get too far. Legs are required for jumping, dancing, strolling along down the, what's that word again? Oh, street. Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. I wish I could be part of that world. What would I give if I can live out of these waters? What would I pay to spend a day warm on the sand? Betcha on land they'd understand that they don't reprimand their daughters. Bright young women, sick of swimming, ready to stand. I'm ready to know what the people know. Ask them my questions and get some answers. What's a fire and why does it? What's the word? Burn. When's it my turn? Wouldn't I love to explore that shore above us? Out of the sea, I wish I could be part of that
never pass for a perfect bride or a perfect daughter. Can it be? I'm not meant to play this part. Now I see that if I were truly to be myself, I would break my family's heart. Who is that girl I see staring straight back at me? Why is my reflection someone I don't know? Must I pretend that I'm someone else for all time? When will my reflection show who I am inside? When will my reflection show who I am inside? All those days watching from the windows, all those years outside looking in, all the time never even knowing just how blind I've been. Now I'm here blinking in the starlight. Now I'm here, suddenly I see. Standing here, it's so clear I'm where I'm meant to be. And at last I see the light, and it's like the fog has lifted. And at last I see the light, and it's like the sky is new, and it's warm and real and bright, and the world has somehow shifted. All at once, everything looks different now that let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Let it go, let it go. Turn away and slam the door. I don't care what they're going to say. Let the storm rage on. The cold never bothered me anyway.
Patuloy ang ating pagbibigay ng inspirasyon sa ating mga mag-aaral as we're all about to listen to some inspiring words from our newly elected President of the National Federation of Supreme Student Governments. From Bayambang National High School, Pangasinan, Region 1, Bienesto Fidel Junio.
Magandang araw sa lahat. Ako si Bienesto Fidel A. Junio, ang bagong halal na National Federated SSG President. Bilang isang mag-aaral, nakita at naranasan ko din kung gaano kahirap ang pagsabayin ng pag-aaral sa iba't ibang responsibilidad na nakaatang sa atin. Hindi naging madali ang lahat, lalo'y tayo pa'y sumasailalim sa isang pandemya. Ngunit naniniwala akong sa paghihirap, isinisilang ang isang pangarap. Pangarap na mag-aahon sa atin sa isang sitwasyong ayaw na muli nating pagdaanan. Naniniwala pa rin akong ang kabataan, ang pag-asa ng bayan. ang kabataan ang muling mag-aahon sa atin sa sitwasyong kinalalagyan natin. Buong sigasig nating ipagpapatuloy ang magagandang proyektong nasimulan na ng buong SSG sa nakaraan. Lagit-lagi nating isaalang-alang ang 4 core values ng pagiging makatao, makabansa, makakalikasan at makadiyos sa bawat proyektong ating isasagawa. Higit nating bibigyang pansin ang usapin ng kalusugang pangkaisipan o mental health ng ating mga kapwa-estudyante, lalo na sa ilalim ng learning setup ngayon. Sisikapin natin na bagaman tayo ay pisikal na magkakalayo, ay mapapanatili pa rin natin ang social connection sa isa't isa. Patuloy nating papakinggan ang mga issue at hinaing ng mga mag-aaral at gagawa tayo ng mga paraan at mekanismo upang epektibong matugunan ang lahat ng ito. Kaya magkakahiwalay man tayo sa ngayon ay sisikapin nating panatilihin ang ating pagkakaisa. Hahanap tayo ng mga innovative o malikhaing mga solusyon para sa ating mga karaniwang problema. Tiwala ako na sa ating sama-samang pagkilos ay mapagtatagumpayan natin ang bawat hamon. Muli, Happy National Students Day sa lahat!
Once again, our newly elected President of the National Federation of Supreme Student Government, Ernesto Fidel Junio. Ngayon naman, let us reveal our final set of raffle prize winners who will receive a cash prize of 1,000 pesos. Micaela de Guzman Rugador, Nick Joaquin Senior High School, Quezon City, National Capital Region. May Saludares Ponteras, Taguloan National High School, Misamis Oriental, Region 10. Queenie Gail R. Tamo, Matalang High School, Cotabato Province, Region 12. Precious May C. Liberato, MNHS Annex, Nueva Ecija, Region 3. Denver Mark A. Cesar, Parayao Centro Elementary School, Pangasinan 1, Region 1. Cyriel Ann A. Daili, Santa Maria Central School, SPED Center, Zamboanga City, Region 9. Rayalyn Ladayon Villaganes, Kalina National High School, Davao del Sur, Region 11. Nisha Jem Nakpil Salinas, Karangalan Elementary School, Rizal, Region 4A. Gabrielle Casipit Fernandez, DepEd Elementary School, Alamino City, Region 1. Mark Den A. Higona, Caba National High School, La Union, Region 1. Congratulations!
Isang pangmalakasang palakpakan naman sa lahat ng ating mga raffle prize winners! Congratulations po sa inyong lahat!
Sadly, we have come to the end of our virtual celebration. Today was truly an afternoon worth remembering as we showcased and celebrated every Filipino student in the country dahil araw natin ito.
Let this be a reminder to all of us na walang imposible. Gamitin natin ang puso, galing at talino. We can overcome any challenges and be the best we can be.
Huwag kalilimutan na tayo ang pag-asa ng bayan. Kaya kapit lang mga classmates, kaya natin to. Sa muli, ito si classmate Gianna.
Si classmate Jerome.
I am classmate of Delegates Chamzon, ang cute and humble student of Legazpi City National High School.
At ako naman, si classmate Ayoshi. See you ulit next year! Once again, this is the National Students Day 2021. Kabataang Pilipino, may makabansang panindigan, gamit ang puso, galing at talino. Bye!
Paglalaban namin ang nararapat at tamang gagawin. Iba na tayo ngayon, matibay ang loob. Sabihin mo, sabihin nyo, kaya natin to. Kabataang Pinoy, pagbutihan mo pag-asa ka ng buong mundo. Kabataang Pinoy, kayang-kaya mo. Pinoy ako, Pinoy tayo. Kabataang Pinoy, pagbutihan mo pag-asa ka ng buong mundo. Kabataang Pinoy, kayang-kaya mo. Pinoy ako, Pinoy tayo. Kabataang Pinoy, pagbutihan mo pag-asa ka ng buong mundo. Kabataang Pinoy, kayang-kaya mo. Pinoy ako, Pinoy tayo. Barkada namin may pangarap na nais abutin. Pangarap namin magtagumpay sa lahat ng gagawin. Iba na tayo ngayon, walang di nagagawa. Sabihin nyo, kaya natin to. Kabataang Pinoy, pagbutihan mo pag-asa ka ng buong mundo. Kabataang Pinoy, kayang-kaya mo. Pinoy ako, Pinoy tayo. Hamon sa buhay, handang daanan, kaya namin yan. Paglalaban namin ang nararapat at tamang gagawin. Iba na tayo ngayon, matibay ang loob. Sabihin mo, sabihin nyo, kaya natin to. Kabataang Pinoy, pagbutihan mo pag-asa ka ng buong mundo. pagbutihan mo